to bend it. Oh, yeah, it's my leg. Damn. That shit sounded crazy.
Why'd you cough into the mic?
I want to hear how it sounded.
Jesus Christ.
All right.
Look what it did.
Damn. Oh.
Shit broke the sound barrier.
High key.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Alex G alongside Mal, and this is the A Couple of Things podcast, where we're here to talk about a couple of things. We're back. We missed last week because Lil Miss travel everywhere.
Yeah, I was in Texas. I was in Dallas. Just got back yesterday at like 1 a.m., so I'm still a little bit jet lagged.
Yeah.
I've just been out in about 8 flights in 2 months.
And she has COVID, so if you guys
I don't have COVID.
If you hear her coughing,
I don't have COVID.
that is why. But we got a good
Next flight is Dubai.
episode. See, you always do that, and then some shit goes wrong.
It's booked though.
Okay. So was a bunch of other stuff too.
I know Bali was booked.
You might as well not even say nothing. Stop announcing where you're going.
They don't know when I'm going, but soon.
Let's get into it.
Oh wait, it's actually really soon. 'Cause next month is August. Jesus. All right, let's get into the pod.
So, so all of social media has been in a blaze. I don't know about Twitter. It's been so peaceful not having Twitter. It's been so great. I'm not gonna lie. I don't even
need
like
to get it back.
Nah, I don't.
I miss you on there though. I miss your presence. I feel empty on there.
It's just my mind just feels better. Cause like deleting the account, deleting the app. Cause that's the thing. Like you could delete the app, but if you still have the account, you're gonna download the app again and go back. But not having an account and not having the app, it's been great. So I don't know how things are on Twitter. What people really debate. That's really like what your strength
Twitter
is.
correspondent.
So I don't know how Twitter's going.
Twitter right now is kind of in shambles. Like then, I mean, I don't know if you had this on your topic list, but that girl, we could get into it later.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that right now. The FAMU.
Yeah, that's. You know what's funny too? Because I was kind of out of loop since I was in Dallas. Somebody tweeted to like, imagine getting a master's, and then something about like getting a master's just for clout and can't get a job and something like that. I thought that was a generic tweet about master's. So you know me, I was like, I don't know about you guys. I got my master's in accounting and I got a job before I walked the stage. And then I was reading replies. I was like, oh, I missed something. So I deleted my thing. I'm like they were talking about her, and I thought they was like just coming at people with masters. So I was like, this is what I need to do my research before I start ready to fight people in the comments. I was like, why are you making fun of people with masters? You must be mad.
Well, people were also making fun of people with
Masters.
pursuing law degrees, but we could talk about that in a second.
Why?
Yeah, we could do that afterwards.
People be saying that stuff and then
I said we'll talk about it afterwards. But anyway, for context, for anybody that doesn't know, I don't know this young woman's Instagram name. I did see the picture though. I did go to her Instagram. I saw it.
I saw the picture, but like I said, I was distracted. I was in Dallas, so I didn't know. I didn't think nothing of it. Like I didn't know that she was naked either. And I was like, oh.
I was confused. So there's a lot of confusion here. So first of all, my TikTok algorithm took me to the photographer who took the picture, and he made a TikTok about it.
Was he confused?
Yeah, and he was basically like, he was like, oh, is it okay if we do? He was like kind of doing a role play, like scenario what happened.
Yeah.
It's like, it's okay if we do one more outfit. He's like, oh yeah, we got time.
Yeah.
And then he's like, where your clothes at? Like,
That's so awkward.
I'm pretty sure he was the good person that actually took it, but it could have been somebody else just playing around.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure he was the one that actually took it. But basically, for context for everyone, there was a young lady who recently, what's the word for it?
Graduated?
Like when you secure, or maybe that's not the right way to say it.
Like
when you get your degree conferred, right?
Yeah, like you finish your requirements.
Yeah.
But you didn't walk yet, so you're not limbo period.
Yeah. So I think that's what her scenario was. Basically, long story short, she got her master's degree and she took a picture on FAMU campus of her with no clothes on and just her cap.
That was her cap with the snakes and stuff?
I thought it was her cap.
I don't know.
Look, listen. Basically, I didn't really analyze the picture.
Yeah, I didn't analyze either.
Because I didn't get it. Like I saw the TikTok and I was like, I went in the comments and I was like, I don't really
like,
get
what's
it.
happening? Yeah.
And then somebody put the at and I was like, okay, well, I guess I might as well look at it. But then I saw it and I was like, okay, but I wasn't really breaking down the picture like that.
I didn't even think of it that deep until I started seeing all the tweets. I was like, I'm like, will the school take away your degree? for that.
I feel like they can't.
I don't think they.
Well, I mean,
can
they could
either.
do whatever they want. It's their degree, but I don't think that they
Yeah,
would.
because once it's conferred, it's yours. Like they
Yeah,
can't just take that from you.
I
You
don't
could
think
get
so.
fined for taking a picture on the campus.
For public indecency or something. But
And yeah, you might have trouble getting jobs if people find a background check and find you.
But yeah, basically, she took a picture nude, naked, butt out on the campus. And then she put a caption about how she always liked to post provocatively for pictures and things like that, and that she was
so weird.
happy and blessed that she got her degree, etc. You know, kind of like, and this is not to say anything negative about her because I don't have any personal feelings about what she did, but you know, it's that typical. I want to be free, naked, and
Do that somewhere else. What that got to do with your education, though? Like,
I don't know.
her master's apparently was in marketing, so people think it's like some ploy that she makes music.
Well,
So now she got the reaction she might have been looking for. But I'm like, I want to give her that much credit. It's marketing, like it's not really.
I don't know. I don't get it, but I likened it to like how the spiritual girls be like, you know, I'm so free and blah blah blah. That's
Yeah.
what I thought it was an attempt
You
at.
don't think it was for clout?
Oh no, for sure. Everything anybody does is for clout. Us recording this podcast is for clout.
True.
Let's not get things twisted. It's definitely for
True.
clout, but you know, it's that whole like we're gonna cover it and shroud it in. I'm trying to be spiritual,
yeah.
and we all walk the earth naked. Why does it matter?
That's another thing people were mad about though, because she was trying to push this whole body positivity thing.
Mm.
But then apparently she was on like her live, and like she was saying that oh y'all just mad, cause like my body looks nice and your body is like bad, and like I'm like, how you talking about you body positive, but now you're making fun of people's bodies? Isn't that psycho? She's like, you're just mad at my genetics, and you guys like be saggy, and I'm like, whoa. I mean, I didn't see the live, but that's what I just saw a tweet of somebody giving a conclusion of the live.
Let's break it down. How do you feel about the picture?
It's stupid.
You saw the picture, right?
Yeah, like I said, I didn't really get to really look, but I saw it. Like I think it's weird. I think it's stupid. Like I feel like why is everything got to be so like body and like focus on your body? Like you just accomplished something major and like and you want to focus on your body. Like it's just weird for that. I think. Like I don't know.
This is one of those things.
It has nothing to do with like graduating college has nothing to do with your body. Like if you want to make a body positivity post, go ahead, do that. But like you're on a public campus, naked, like celebrating your graduation like that. That's very weird. Especially being on a public college campus. Like you don't know who's on that campus. Like minors could be on there touring, literally. 17-year-olds could be on there touring the campus or 16, and touring the campus for their freshman year.
Remember, I did that one shoot that one time.
Yeah,
It's interesting. It's interesting. I think it's people that want like, I can't tell what it is.
They're just trying to get that like look for some reason.
The provocative,
Yeah.
sexually like, what's the word?
Like
It's like sexual provoking.
Yeah.
Like, provocative.
Yeah.
Just provocative posts, and it's like, ooh, scandalous.
yeah, like oh she's naked on the campus. Like that's crazy. This different. We haven't seen this before.
Yeah, I think people try to get that off. But you see that with anybody. Like you see certain singers and stuff. They try to wear certain things. They try to get off that. Like I don't know. People just want to be accepted
People are just
sexually,
attention seekers. Yeah, and they just they want to be like enticing or like whatever.
or sought after.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I think, do what you want. Of course, I don't particularly care about what you do, but I will question the motive for doing things. And if it was for the clout, I think that this was probably not the.
It probably backfired. Like it's probably gonna be a short term clout. Like she might have got the clicks on her music or whatever, but it's probably short term. She's not gonna be talked about in the next week.
Yeah, this one will be tough to leverage, and especially like you said about employers.
Yeah, right. Like all they gotta do is search your name now, and it's gonna be all these articles.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I think.
Her degree was in marketing anyway, so it's not like she would have had any luck getting jobs anyway.
I think it's tough. Like,
Was that shady? I feel like marketing is kind of I don't know. I wouldn't get a master's in marketing. That seems like a waste. Right? I don't know.
Never dealt with marketing.
I just know like people. I feel like marketing is kind of one of those like degrees that people just get to be like I'm in business, and it doesn't really. I never really. I mean, I'm sure there's people with successful careers that got degrees in marketing, but they probably don't do marketing. I don't know. Let me not be.
I mean, I don't know. Like heads of marketing make millions of dollars. So I
No,
don't know.
I know they do. They do.
I don't know.
Maybe it's just people. Maybe it's just people that.
Well, marketing has so many different facets. What part of marketing are you working in?
Exactly.
Because people that work in, making billboards or something like that, and then there's like event marketing where people are sitting at the tables handing out pamphlets.
I think I'm just thinking of like the typical people. Like I know like a handful of people that got marketing degrees that literally don't do anything even in business right now. So it's kind of like.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
but
I don't know either.
Nonetheless, I just think that, I'm not gonna. I just think it was a weird picture.
Weird.
If it was for the reason why she said it was, if it's a clout move, everything makes sense when it's a clout move.
I think it's a combo of things.
But if it was like just I like posting provocatively, it's a little.
It could be a combo of things because the clout thing is not predictable. Like you can't predict that this was gonna blow up.
Yeah, you can. Everybody's so like what people. Because that's what all marketing is, the outrage marketing. Everybody's so predictable.
But it's like you still can't like force yourself to hit an algorithm or go viral.
You can't, but you know how people react to things. Like if somebody,
especially that school. Apparently, people were saying this girl who goes to that school said that usually when they all congregate on Twitter, there's always something happening. So if something would, imagine that happened at Montclair, all you need is everybody from Montclair to talk about it. And you're ready to have enough people for it to go viral because, now people who, there's so many people who go to one school. And FAMU has a big following, like, online. Like, I see it. Like, I always see people that go to that school somehow on Twitter, like, there. So, all you need is the whole campus to talk about it. And now you're instantly viral because all those people that shared it from the school is going to keep going beyond and get shared by the rest of us.
Yeah. Do what you want, but I just think that for what it would, like if she wanted to do it in a different context, then I obviously wouldn't care. But I think that if the goal is to pursue a corporate job, there might be some, like, you might have set 100 hurdles for yourself.
And I mean, I guess like marketing is more of like you would consider that more of like a less conservative job. So maybe she still might. If she has an employer that's lenient and don't care about social media presence, because like, certain career paths, like you can't go into investment banking with that picture. But marketing is more, that's the whole point. Like, are you good at marketing? And they might be like, oh look, it did work. She did market herself.
Yeah, but a company like if she worked for like Coca-Cola doesn't want ass on their advertisements, so they're not gonna look to somebody that's doing that as being like they're good at marketing.
Yeah, but they're gonna look at the skill set though. But then again, they're gonna be like, oh, but what did she do to even get that? Like, is it really a skill or was it a cheat code?
She could be very great at what she does. I don't know her personally. She might be good. And this might have just been just one of the things that she did that was good. I don't personally know, but I personally don't see a major company looking at that and being like, yeah, that's what we need, because anybody can do that.
Yeah.
Like any company could just say something off the wall and get more attention like that. I don't think that there's a lot of skill in that type of thing.
Yeah.
Because we had that conversation before about the Kardashians. I still don't think that there's a skill in what they do. Personally,
I think there is.
I personally
think it's a skill to keep yourself relevant.
I think that it's impressive to do so, but I don't think that what they do is very like.
I mean, it's still somewhat a skill though, because like when they look for people to hire, like when like these jobs look for people who are in PR or in marketing, they look for those same skills that the Kardashians I think have as a family. They like these companies look for that skill set. Like they consider it a skill. Like when they look on your resume.
All right, I don't consider it to be difficult. Then I'll say.
It can be though, because I feel like if it was so easy, everybody who was famous would have maintained that relevancy. Or anybody would be able to be at the level that they were at. To have one mom birth like 2 billionaires and 4 millionaires, 3 millionaires. Not every mom can say that. I gave birth to 2 billionaires and 3 millionaires. All my kids are millionaires at least, at the bare minimum.
In terms of entertainers, maybe not. But in terms of people in general, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, in terms of people in general, yeah. But as far as like, that's what I mean, like entertainment and like, they literally just, like they were so dominant in the social media reality thing show, like reality show thing.
But they also had Ryan Seacrest.
Yeah, they did, but they also still had you can have all the tools and it still doesn't mean nothing. Like you can't force people to like you. You can't force people to talk about you. Like you have to have some type of thing that keeps people coming back. And the thing with them is like they either get the people who hate them who keep interacting, or they get the people who really love them. And I feel like they got a good. They were skillful at just keeping attention. Like you ever notice like it'll be quiet for a few days, and then the next thing they're in the news for something. They're always in the news, and I'm like, that's for me. It seems some type of talent, and their brands have been successful. So I don't know.
Okay, I still stand on what I said. I don't think that there's any skill in what they do.
I think there is.
But yeah.
Yeah, I think the girl's dumb. But
or she'll be able to flip this and then she'll be a billionaire. So who gives a fuck? Like, I mean, I think it was the wrong thing if she wants to go corporate. Personally, I don't see any company wanting to hire her, wanting that attention. Because if she's like, well, now I work at Google, and now social media is like, oh, the girl that had her ass out on Instagram is now working at Google.
yeah,
I don't think those companies will want that attention necessarily. So I think she kind of maybe shot herself in the foot with that one.
at least temporarily. But there's no way to scrub the internet completely of this. That's all. That's gonna forever come up, even if you search it in 10 years, probably.
Yeah, it's gonna be blasted somewhere, and that's the other part. Like, there's the popular part of the internet, and then there's the internet that nobody goes and lurks into that still exists, where all that type of stuff is shared. Like,
sometimes two companies put you on a blacklist.
Yeah, and you would never know.
Yeah,
and they don't have to disclose that. But yeah, there's always gonna be that whole dark web, and not even the dark web, but just, I mean, like things that are less popular. Because you take Reddit. Reddit is a popular social media platform with a bunch of different threads and all that other stuff, like a giant forum. But there's so many other forums that exist that just aren't popular. But
like,
you wouldn't go to
hear
them.
about like the school shootings and stuff, or like any type of shootings. Always like, oh, they were on this forum. I'm like, what is that? I never even heard of that. It's like.
So I personally think she shot herself in the foot with the corporate thing for now, at least. And if this was her idea of marketing for her music or for another endeavor, I think it did what I think would be pretty blatantly obvious.
Yeah, she got her clicks.
Because that's a thing. Like in the weird porn world, is like college girl, like nude, like that's like obvious. Like that's like almost like low hanging fruit. In my opinion.
OnlyFans.
Yeah, in my opinion, like if she wanted to use this as a boost for her OnlyFans or for anything, then yeah, it did what it was supposed to do. Now, if it was literally just because she likes posing scandalously on the internet, because some people like that kind of stuff, I think in the context of this, like tying the school part to the nudity was the wrong thing. Because she could have done that without that.
And do that in the privacy of your home or in a studio, like not in a public campus where people have to walk by. Like
anybody walking
anybody
by
could walk by.
It's probably confused.
Yeah, unless you did it super super late at night.
No, it wasn't. It was definitely broad daylight.
That's so sick. It's weirdo energy.
It's interesting.
Cause like I'm all for the whole. Cause we had this talk before. Like I hate man-made constructs. I'm all for like all the stuff is made up. But at the same time, it's also like you still do gotta respect though, like the world that we live in. Like you could feel that way, but you still gotta respect the world that we live in and be smart.
Yeah, and for context for anybody listening, my opinion on things like nudity, porn, OnlyFans, and all that kind of stuff, I personally don't care, but I have to care because that's what society, that's the world that we live in.
Like people always want to be like, oh, don't conform. It's like, you could not conform, but then you can't be complaining and asking for money when you can't get a job. Like, go ahead, do that, but you got to play the game. Like, I could feel the way I feel and think it's stupid, but still conform to society's.
To certain things.
For certain things. For my own sake. And, you know, people might be offended by nudity, so you shouldn't do that.
Which is weird.
You could feel the way you feel. Yeah, which is weird. But like I said, I was more thinking of, like, minors that might be touring the campus. That's a little weird. Like, like, you know. And now you have parents that come into the school with their kids going on a tour and they see a naked girl, like, posing. That's kind of weird. I'll be like, what kind of school is this? You know, it's just, yeah.
Yeah, well, good luck to her.
Yeah, I'm about to say good luck to her. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we will.
That should probably be irrelevant in a week.
Yeah, well, what you want to get into next? We have tons of things we can get into.
We're going.
We just got all types of nasty behavior.
We're trying to keep everything
you
in
want
like.
to talk about Elon? You want to talk about this particular topic?
Yeah, we'll kind of keep a theme, right? So whatever, something that's related.
Listen,
I guess we could talk about Elon.
We got relationships. What do you want to talk about? We got abundance of things to talk about.
We can talk about Elon and do the relationship stuff.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen,
Elon's gonna be probably like short.
Yeah. So Elon Musk has allegedly been having an affair with Sergey Brin's wife. For those of you that don't know, Sergey Brin is one of the co-founders of Google. Oh. One of the CEOs that has all of the money in the world, but nobody actually knows who he is.
That's the vibes. So
yeah, basically, Elon debunked it. Said that it wasn't true and that he's still friends with Sergey.
Where did the rumor come from?
You know what? I honestly think that Elon and Sergey, because I think they actually really are friends. Mm-hmm. And rich people play smart, rich games. I think that Sergey probably wanted to divorce his wife, and like probably came up with this on his own, like between those two as like a.
Like he put that rumor out.
Yeah.
But why would he do it to his own friend though?
No, I think that they probably work together. Because all Elon has to say is like, nah, it's a lie.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Elon cares about scrutiny.
But wait, he said it though now though. I think Elon said it's a lie now.
Yeah, but he can say it's a lie.
Oh.
But it's not gonna matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Like he said it's a lie, so that means it's false. But Sergey will still be able to divorce his wife just based off the rumor itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's my opinion. Because rich people they play sick games. I think he probably wanted to divorce her, use the rumor.
But he could just divorce her though.
No, but if he just divorced her, then he would owe her money.
Oh. Yeah.
And now she's asking for $1 billion. And they have a prenup in place, supposedly.
Okay, well, they have a prenup, then he could have just divorced her then.
I think there might have been something. Well, because prenup doesn't mean everybody walks away with what they have. Prenup is just a set of terms upon the separation of people. So
but I think your terms could still make it so the person doesn't get anything.
But I don't think women agree to it. Women.
You both had to agree.
Yeah. So I don't.
Women are just. Oh my God, we're a crazy species. Like honestly.
So I think
entitlement is like weird.
Yeah. So she's asking for $1 billion basically.
Do they have kids?
I'm not sure. I feel like they would.
Possibly.
I think they've been together for a while too. But yeah, she would get. She's asking for $1 billion, and they're gonna take this to court, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, Elon.
I actually believed it at first. I feel like Elon is like one of those people who's like, it's weird. He's like socially awkward and like weird, but I think he's using his fame and his fortune to live out his like dreams of things that he wouldn't be doing if he wasn't rich and famous, like getting all these girls. Cause I didn't know he had so many baby mamas, and I'm like, wow. Elon really is like getting, he seems like he gets around a little bit.
Yeah, city boys.
No, it's like weird because he's like has like Asperger's or something.
He does, I believe.
So it's like these girls are definitely using him.
Are they? Because I don't think Elon's cutting checks.
Well, not what's her name. I don't think.
And if this is true, she's already with somebody that's
well, it's not like he's cutting checks, but they're getting babies out of him. These baby mamas.
Oh, the other ones. I thought you were talking about just women in general. Because Elon been all over the place with Amber Heard and all these other people. Yeah. I mean, he was cutting checks for her.
Yeah, and she probably would try to get a baby out of him too. I'm sure she was trying to get money out of him because the way she got money, tried to get money out of Johnny Depp. But yes, that's why I believed it at first, because I'm like, he seems like he got his fame and fortune is getting to his head. I think.
You think?
I think. Because like I said, if he didn't have Tesla and stuff, and like he wasn't who he was.
Well, of course, that's women in general.
He would not be with some of these girls at all, especially Amber Heard. Like,
but that's all women in general. It's true. Even like rappers, like some of these
rappers are really ugly. Like if you look at them, you're like imagine they had no money and no fame and they weren't who they are. You would literally look like ill. Look at this, like dusty.
Well, I wasn't talking about their physical. Like I'm not judging the way another man look.
Like Kodak Black or like. Who else is ugly? Offset.
Okay. I wasn't talking about them physically. I'm talking about them as just them as a person. Like if somebody doesn't have money, then people aren't going for them.
Yeah, but the looks too. Like
No, I know that matters, but that's not what I'm talking about. That's
yeah, it's
all I'm
both.
saying.
But it's both. I'm thinking like money makes men. I think people like men look better, quote unquote.
Money
Like,
makes everybody look better.
yeah. So that's why like I said like that's why I believe that I thought the story was true because I just feel like money changed Elon, so he thinks he's like shiesty now.
I mean, he is
Yeah, but
taking down everybody's wives,
he's
left and
but he's
right.
awkward. You didn't see that picture where someone said he looks like he's shaped like a deep breath.
When he was at the pool, yeah, that's what happens when you don't go outside.
He's shaped nasty. Like, I can't imagine like being with him.
Body positive, right?
I never said I was body positive.
That's what happens when you don't lead a Tesla office and a SpaceX office. Listen, I don't care what he looks like, as long as he keeps
They
innovating.
said he looked like a deep breath.
As long as he keeps innovating, keep making them Teslas, I don't care what he look like.
Nah,
Keep doing his thing.
Saying that he's shaped like a deep breath is crazy.
It's working for him.
Yeah. I mean, I think his success obviously is admirable, but I just do think it's corny when people get money and clout and fame and then they act like they're not lame, like, or weird. It's like, relax. You don't get in these girls because of who you are.
Nah. That's something to be proud of.
I guess.
It is. Listen, I'm not no Elon fanboy, but the thing is,
He'd probably be stuttering around them.
or he
like,
doesn't.
Not maintaining eye contact.
I think he does that to the public because he's trying to explain like neuroscience to a bunch of people that don't know.
Yeah, but come on, I just don't see him as being flirty and cute and like charismatic. I see him being weird and like shifty, like awkward, like constantly shifting his clothes and like rubbing his hands.
Has he ever done that?
That's yeah.
I feel like I've never seen him do that when he talks. Usually, when I see him when he talks, he usually takes very
Saturday
long.
Night Live, yeah.
He usually takes very long pauses. Well, I mean, he's not an actor. He usually takes very long pauses before he speaks. Because if you see him when he's like doing any of these financial, like, conferences, like he just did one. I think it was in Dubai or something like that.
Oh, Dubai. That's
or Saudi. It was a Saudi convention or something like that.
Yeah.
He speaks very clearly.
It's just maybe I'm thinking of Saturday Night Live because I know people like him in real life, like that really awkward, socially awkward, like yeah.
And even if he is, there's mad socially awkward guys.
No, but they cute and that's their little thing. But it's not like one of them have money. Like when money's involved, girls will look past anything. They'll look past if you're missing legs and like limbs. They'll look past bad teeth and bad features. They'll look past you being 80 years old. They'll do anything for a check. They'll look past Asperger's. How you say it? Asperger's. They'll look past anything for a little check and some clout. That's why I think that one girl was a good match for him. The one that he was actually married to. Were they married?
Grimes?
Yeah. She seemed weird too. They was cute. They was like a weird couple together. She did. I don't know how his other baby moms look. Do they look like the type that used him?
So I'm not. That's just it. I'm not an Elon fanboy. I'm not looking at Elon's wives.
So you don't even know what they look like?
No, I don't know.
Me neither. I didn't even know he had multiple kids. I thought XXYZ whatever was the first baby. Who was that? What was his name?
That's the part. Like, listen, I like Tesla cars. I like the innovation of SpaceX and all that other stuff. But I'm not into Elon. I don't think I'm not looking into his personal life.
Didn't he have kids with his coworker? Okay, look at this baby. Okay, she used him. Come on, maybe not her because she a little weird looking. She used him. He had like 4 kids, right? He's got twins with his coworker, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think she was the one that just had the twins, right?
I don't know. You gotta tell me because I really don't pay attention to this.
Who's that? Is this Grimes?
Mm-hmm. But anyway, bottom line, to get into actually something of substance, because this conversation is just sounds stupid. Wouldn't even want to listen to this. Any takeaway from this?
My takeaway is Elon could be lying, and that he might have been out here. And if he's not lying, these rich people are weird. The things they do, the things they make up to get to.
That's swag. Divorce your wife by getting your friend to lie
My
about
whole
an
thing
affair.
is,
That's swaggy.
everybody out here, listen up. Stop marrying people that you don't like. It'll save you so much headache. Like, people go so quick to get married. Like, divorces shouldn't even be a thing, in my opinion.
But
I get people change and things change.
there we go.
Change.
Come on, try. Listen.
But that's why I think everybody should
wait.
date for 10 years.
That's not gonna help you. If you're the co-founder of one of the biggest companies that ever exist,
Yeah. Yeah.
try telling your wife why you can't buy her the $6 million car.
Yeah, but then you should see the signs before that. If your girl,
Nah,
girl
but
like
it doesn't-
that,
it
but
doesn't
babe, if
work.
you, let's say you became a multimillionaire, I would not expect that. I swear on everything, I would not expect you to buy me. I would not be begging.
You just asked me to retire you if I hit the lottery.
Yeah, but that's different.
See, there we go.
Yeah, but I
There we
can
go.
so I can live a peaceful
Don't touch
life.
me. Why you putting your hands on me? Why you putting your hands on me? Don't touch me. See, you exactly no. Don't try to touch. See, now you're trying to tell me to shush. You're trying to stop the truth. Listen,
No,
I'll point out all this. See,
but listen, retiring somebody is
retire
way
you.
different than asking for a $6 million car. Like, that's like helping me have a peace of mind.
Okay, but I was using an extreme.
So you
example.
want me to go to work every single day if you want $1 billion? You want me to?
No, but I wasn't even saying $1 billion. I think the number I said was like 5.
No, I said if you wanted Billy. That's what I was talking about.
No, but then we changed it. I was like, people always go for the $1 billion Mega Millions Powerball jackpot, like when you could just play for like the 5 or 10 million. And I was like, and then you asked for the 5 or 10, like if I would retire you. Listen, people, you didn't ask me for $5 or $10 million when we first met. You changed.
The only thing I know, for everybody listening, they can confirm this. I have those lottery numbers memorized. 67, 57, 36, 45, 13, 14.
You actually having hope was stupid.
Babe,
Never have hope.
imagine you had that mindset and you said that to the person who bought that ticket in Illinois. And then when they won, they probably was like,
Illinois.
Illinois? I don't care.
But also having hope is stupid.
Yeah, that person might have just brought it like, let me just buy this ticket. I didn't have hope. I bought my ticket, was like, and then
But
closed my
you
phone.
memorized the numbers though. So
Yeah,
clearly
because
it hurt
I wish
you.
I could go back in time.
Clearly it hurt you.
I wish I could go back in time.
But you didn't look at all the opportunities you could have had to win 200, 100.
I did. That's why
80,
I sports bet it. That's why I sports bet it.
60,
Ooh, let me get back into sports
sports
betting.
bet-
I'm gonna get back into it.
Anyway, Elon is a city boy. He's taking down everybody's wives.
Yeah, and he looks like a deep breath.
Anybody that's rich should hide your wives because the richest man in the world is coming to take them. Yeah.
He looks like a deep breath.
Okay, we get the joke.
He don't always look like that too. I feel like when people get money, they do get big.
No, I mean, look,
And they don't got time to work out.
I could
People don't-
imagine if you were working 100-hour weeks, I can imagine you didn't go to the gym.
No, and you probably eat junk food all the time.
I
because
can imagine.
the
Sleeping in your factory is crazy.
I would have a bike. I'll be working and working at the same time. Like, I'll be on a bike and having my laptop right there.
You couldn't do that doing what he does.
True.
Running through, you would just watch them send supplies to the space station. Like, that's crazy. And bring the rocket back.
He needs to hire more people.
No, he fired a bunch of people.
Well,
People don't like him or like working for him.
yeah, he seems annoying. Isn't he a Gemini?
All right, yo, let's just get into something else.
I mean, Geminis are annoying, but like, people don't like them.
Man,
Watch, let me see if I'm right. June 28th. Is that Gemini? That might be Cancer. He must be on the cusp. How did I know that?
you good?
Cancer. He's a Cancer.
Anyway,
Cancers are weird though. Don't like them.
so this is one of the things that I noticed and I hate. Everybody always has these debates, and I really don't want this podcast to be one of those things about like all the constant debates and discussions about the same topics over and over and over and over and over again. That it doesn't really matter. But this is a constant reoccurring theme about men not being happy in relationships and tending to stay unhappy within a relationship versus women that will run at the first sight of something being wrong. Now, there's a lot of things to unpack here. I don't think we've ever really had this discussion. So there's a lot of different facets of this conversation. Yeah. So first and foremost, how do we feel about men being unhappy and staying in the relationship? Do we think that
I feel like it's probably more common. It might be equal. I think it's actually equal. I think women are just more vocal about it. But I think a lot of men are. I think a lot of men are unhappy in their marriages or relationships.
I would say men more likely than not are unhappy.
Yeah, and that's why men have the stigma of cheating because men
Well,
will.
actually,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know because a lot of
everybody
women be unhappy too.
everybody might be unhappy.
That's why I'm saying a lot. I think a lot of women be unhappy too, but they won't go. They won't cheat or anything. They'll just kind of just be disconnected.
Nah, man.
Well, no, they will.
They'd be
Some
out.
no, some of them would, but I'm saying some of them would just be disconnected, like from their husbands or their partners, and just like focus on work or the kids. That's what I'm saying. Is I thought at first I was like, yeah, I feel like it's more men, but I feel it's kind of equal.
I think men's
I
reasoning.
just feel like men are less vocal about it, about their unhappiness. They might tell their friends or they'll cheat, but they don't really vocalize it. Like they'll just be.
I think men's reasoning is different. I think women's reasoning is more, and I'm of course generalizing, and being a woman hater, but I think women's reasoning is more either superficial or surface level for why they're
Like
unhappy.
they had like unrealistic expectations or like not even unrealistic, but they had these like
No, they
expectations that come from social media. Like they want their man to buy them flowers every day and buy them like nice things all the time and pay all the bills and talk to them in a way that's like not even like the way the guy is. Like they want them to be someone that they're not basically.
right.
Whatever the social media's definition is of love.
Or they get mad at the man or blame the man for just doing for anything.
Yeah.
Just really for any scenario that could potentially be going on, the man gets the blame for it. Like if there's not enough cereal, like it's the
Yeah.
man's fault, or just whatever little minor thing. So I think it's either superficial and it's about image and we need to go do this and you haven't taken me on a vacation and blah
Yeah.
blah, all that kind of stuff, and then also very surface level things that are like very minor inconveniences that the man might
Like they just want
get blamed
fight.
for, or that they expect the man to like address for them.
Yeah.
Like, can you go buy
Yeah,
me
like I saw
orange
this
juice?
one girl that was mad.
Like, no, you go buy yourself orange juice.
This one girl was mad and like literally, I'm glad people were clowning her. I think her tire, like she popped her car, like or she popped her tire, and she was like, "This is why I'm done with all the men." Like she's like I guess she was, she's single, but she was kind of having people on her roster. She's like, I hit up like 3 different guys, and nobody could come help me with this tire. Like you men are useless, and everybody's like, "Why are you mad because you pop your tire?" And like learn how to change your own tire. Like just because everybody else is busy and they couldn't come, she's like, "Men are useless. I hate all you guys. I'm cutting everybody off today. Nobody could come help me change my tire." Blah 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 blah. And like I feel like people were coming for her because they're like, "You're a grown woman. You popped your tire by running over something. Like take responsibility and just swap out your tire, right?
Do you think women are?
Like that's a life skill. Like learn how to change your tire."
I think that women are afforded the ability to. Well, I'll say it this way: men aren't afforded the ability to not know things,
They're not because
because
if they don't know things, they're not
then
manly.
and or they're also like that's their survival, right? So it's like I feel like if a man doesn't know how to do something like change a tire, I feel like it's a lot more detrimental than a woman not knowing how to change a tire.
Yeah,
Because
women
if
can get away with it.
a woman doesn't know how to change a tire, she can call a guy that can change her tire, or she can call AAA or something like that.
But who's what guys put a call? Like nobody.
Or a guy, yeah, like
You just put know how to do that yourself.
because a guy can't then call a woman to, which is okay.
And my whole thing is I understand the strength thing. I understand it's different than strength. But come on, like with the gender roles, but about changing a tire, like why is that even a gender role? Like, girl, you need to know how to change your tire. Like that's embarrassing. Like you're a grown adult. You could be in a situation of life or death and you don't know how to change your tire.
The only thing about the gender role part that I would agree with is that if you're in a car with me and something happens to the tire, you're not going to change the tire.
Well, yeah, and I get that because it's like you just feel that protective role, and if you want to fulfill that protective role, that's fine.
Yeah,
That
like,
makes sense.
I'd rather get hit by the car than you. So
And that makes sense. Like I'm like, and I get that. And that's why I'm saying like it's more so like if you're on your own,
you better figure out how to do that shit.
and now you're mad, you're gonna cut off all these men because they're at work or they're busy and they can't switch your tire because of a mistake you made. Like you mad at them because you popped your tire. Like
It's also very easy to change a tire
it really is.
because a jack does most of the work anyway. It's
Yeah.
not like you're lifting the
Buy
car.
a good quality jack. Like they
But
got
every car-
electric ones now. Like you don't even gotta do the winding thing.
Every car comes with a jack. You don't even have to buy one.
Yeah.
Literally every car. If you bought a
The
car,
hardest part, honestly, for changing a tire is taking off those stupid bolts.
and even
I
that's
hate
easy.
that. I hate that part.
Well, you loosen them before you jack it, right? That's probably why it's hard. You're supposed to loosen them before you jack the car up. and then you completely take them off.
No, I think I usually jack first and then I loosen.
That's why you're not supposed to do it.
But it's still hard to take off. They're tight.
Nah.
They're tight.
But that's why they feel so tight, is because you're supposed to do it while it's still on the ground, loosen them.
Don't they have electric ones to do that for you? I just need everything electric. I'm about to buy
That's like
electric.
with the NASCAR drill shit.
No, literally, that's what I'm buying. I'm about to buy that.
But yeah,
It really is so easy to change a tire too. It's so easy.
it is easy.
The jack part, like I guess, could be a little
It's
complicated.
annoying, yeah. But if you have a good jack, it's like
If
so
you have a
easy.
bad jack, it's bad. Like when I helped my grandma change, like I changed tires like so many times. But I helped my grandma one time we was camping, and she had one of the ones you had to put the bar in and twist it.
That's everybody's
That's
car
like the
jack.
usual ones, right? And that took forever. And her car was like cute.
Yeah. But anyway, I feel like do you think that it's a positive or negative that men stay unhappy in relationships?
I think it's negative. I don't think anybody should be unhappy in a relationship. Like I feel like so many people live in this world where they just stay unhappy, but then they get mad like 20, 30, 40 years later. Like, why are you mad? You should have been left. Like, I'm all, I always try to find like grace for people too, because I do feel bad because sometimes people they put a lot of effort in and they just keep it going. But I feel like you're only prolonging disappointment if you're unhappy, in my opinion.
And this is
And
where
wasting away your life.
this is where it becomes complex, because I don't know if you've seen the guy that goes around and interviews couples about their relationships and how to make their relationship work, and
Yeah, I think I've seen that.
they're always like, work it out, like stay and like fight kind of thing.
I think staying fight. Oh, sorry, you finished.
Yeah, at what point? Because I feel like if things are going poorly, you wouldn't be happy. But at what point should you stop fighting?
I think people just need to dig deep into their intuition and understanding of a full relationship that they're in. And I think if you're going through something, or like if you guys are bickering about stupid stuff that's easily solvable, that you think, you should be able to know that. Like, I feel like there's some things that are so complex that it's like, yeah, no, this is not going to work. Like, there's differences that are so extreme. But I think people lots of times, they'll consider their relationship to be unhappy just because they're bickering over something that's minor, And like people run at any sign of distress. But I feel like honestly, you shouldn't be arguing in a relationship past maybe being in that relationship for 3 years. I think 3 years is a good enough time, depending on it's situational though, because then I get like you have kids, right? And that, cause like me and you don't argue anymore, right? But like we used to argue all the time early in our relationship, because we was going through that, like, what would you call, like, an adjustment period, right? But we haven't argued in years because we know how to talk to each other, we know how to communicate, and I feel like we'll never argue, even if we don't see eye to eye on stuff with kids and stuff. I don't see myself arguing about that. I still feel like I could have a calm conversation with you, even if we're not seeing eye to eye.
I think most of that was my age more so than the experience in a relationship.
It was a little bit of both, because we were young and immature, but we also were in college. Like, we were dealing with high stress situations in school. We were dealing with still getting to know each other and still learning to trust each other and still being young and probably like, don't know if we want a relationship or not. Like, this stupid stuff,
But I thought, yeah, for me.
And like, obviously, outside forces that try to disrupt us. So it was like a lot of things.
For me, all of that stuff still comes back down to the age thing, because the knowledge and immaturity,
the brain's not even developed.
Just wisdom in general for me is what was the cause of a lot of those things. Mm-hmm. So like outside forces can't have any impact on your relationship if you don't allow them to.
No, that's literally, I was just telling my mom and my sister that, because not to put everyone's business out there, my sister, but she talking to this person, he has like he's getting a following, and she was like super super insecure, like with the the following and like the DMs that he pops we getting, and I'm like it's just funny because like we're almost 8 years deep, so like when people be asking me these questions, they'll expect me to get mad about that stuff. Like she asked me if I care about likes. I'm like, I don't care about any stuff. She's like, really? I'm like, I really don't. Like, I'm not insecure at all. I think you get to a point in relationships where it's like you laugh about those things. Like outside, like you said, outside forces don't disrupt after a certain point. Like we literally just had a whole podcast episode where we talked about the people trying to home wreck. I feel like you get to a certain point where it's like that's expected. Like if you would want that to happen. Honestly, you wouldn't want to be dating nobody that's not desirable. I feel like, right? You kind of would want that to happen in a way. Not even want that to happen, but it shouldn't make you upset, because it's like, well, yeah, well, he looks good.
The only thing that bothers me is the safety thing. I think there's a safety aspect, but everything else, yeah, I agree with.
Yeah. The safety stuff, obviously, that's, yeah. But I feel like, if girls are DMing your partner, you gotta trust them. At the end of the day, people are gonna be people. You can't control other people, and you can't control your partner, but you need to trust them. That's it. It's really that simple. Like people overcomplicate these things. Outside forces should not have any issue in your relationship if you trust your partner. That's it.
There's a quote. It's something about civilization can't be destroyed from the outside until it destroys itself from within, or something to that effect.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Yeah. Relationships only fall apart by outside forces if you let if you can't trust your partner and you're that insecure, you don't need to be in relationships. You need to heal and you need to find somebody you trust. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
You need to heal your insecurities, get to the root of your insecurities, and trust who you're with. Like, well, why date somebody that you don't trust? Like, I don't get how people just. It just makes me feel anxious. I don't know how people are in relationships where they gotta check their partner's phones. Like, that's just so. Ugh, that just does not seem fun. Like, I just love feeling relaxed. Like, I feel like so many girls in a situation like me being in Dallas for a week would be like, I wonder what my man's doing. I was chilling. I'm like, I know he's at home probably making beats with his family. Like, I was just chilling. Like, but some girls be like, no, but I'm saying like some girls will be like stressed out, breaking out in hives, being, halfway across the country while their man's at home alone. Like, but I was just chilling. I'm like, this is peace. Like, I don't get how people don't want this feeling, like that full trust and like happiness. I don't get it. People just, I don't understand. Some people don't want that, I think.
Yo, I was sick when you were gone and like I had the window open. Yeah. And there was bugs all in the room. I was sick.
Yeah, I was like, what'd you do? I'm like, what happened?
Because I realized I'm like,
we don't got no bugs here.
It was nighttime and I think the light was on in the room. And the screen isn't really like,
it's not secure.
It's not like super small. So all the bugs that were small enough to fit through the little squares came through.
Like the little gnats and stuff. Ew.
I was so sick when I walked in the room. I'm like, come on. I slept out here.
They're gone now, right?
There's one left.
I didn't notice it.
I killed another one today. There's one left and he's in here somewhere. He's been living in the sink. Ew. But yeah, I was so sick. I slept out here like every day.
Really?
Like on the couch. I was so tight. And like kept that door closed and just let them all die. But anyway. Yeah.
What were we saying before? We were talking about.
We were just talking about like in our personal relationship, from like my opinion is just like the maturity part, like the aging was more of a factor than anything really, because I think a lot of the things like outside forces, my insecurities, past issues and biases, I think all of those different things, I didn't know how to deal with them as somebody that was 17, 18, 19, 20. I don't even know how to... I didn't
either, because you were my first and only relationship. I did not know how any of this stuff was... I mean, you have an idea of how things work, but actually being in a relationship for the first time, like, everything was new.
I don't even know how to deal with it now. I think just now my whole thought process that makes my mind more clear is just just being relaxed,
just being chill,
whatever it is. Like the best way I can think of it is like if you're doing if you're in the pool, like how you couldn't do it when you're swimming, but when you just lay on your back and finally learn to just chill, the water is gonna take you and just hold you and hold your back up, and you could just float for hours on end.
That was like a running joke we have about my grandma, because she's like really crazy. Like, she's Gemini. I know you don't believe in all that stuff, but she be ready to fight everybody, right? Her neighbors, everything. But then she get in the lake, she get in the pool, and she just be chilling. I'm like, how? She's such she seems like such a crazy person, but once she gets in that water, her eyes be closed. She don't be thinking about nothing, and she just be out like completely flat on the water. It's crazy.
That's how I feel about the relationships and just my life in general. I think I've tried to just be that.
Just relax.
Just floating, and whatever happens, but let it come to you.
And people overthink life too much, right? Like, people be so worried about, like, they don't post who they're with because they don't want to be embarrassed. Like, who cares if they cheat?
That's on them.
That's on them. It's not embarrassing. Things happen. Move on to the next relationship. Like, people be caring too much about like what people think. And it's like, you guys like really like are living miserable lives, having to constantly go, I don't want to be embarrassed. Like, who cares? Embarrassment is a myth. Like, there shouldn't even be embarrassment. Is not even a real thing if you really think about it. Like, what are you embarrassed by? We're humans. We're all gonna die one day. Like, it's whatever. Like, I think it's just whatever.
Damn.
No, like, none of that's gonna matter. Like, think about all the stuff that you thought was embarrassing. That the people who witnessed it probably don't even think about you to this day. They don't even remember you. They don't even know what you were embarrassed by. Like, embarrassment is just not a real thing, in my opinion. Like, it's just, if you live life just chilling and knowing that none of this matters, none of this really matters at the end of the day. Like, It's just a way better way to live.
If we at that point in the pod, listen,
No, I'm just mean like.
don't even try, guys, because it doesn't matter.
No, I don't mean like
I'm
that.
joking. I'm joking.
I just mean like 30, 40, 50 years from now, you're literally gonna be depressed. Like, wow, I was really living this life in my 20s, like my 30s, and like worrying about embarrassment, worrying about this and worrying about that, and all that passed me by. And like now I'm in my 60s, 70s, and all it's over. Like it's over. Like
I feel that way now. Like there's certain things and feelings that I will always definitely 100% take to the grave.
Mm-hmm.
But I was thinking about one of those things the other day, and I'm like, damn, like it wasn't like an event or something that happened, but it was the way I was like thinking and my mentality, like probably everything prior to like when I was 20. And I'm like, damn, like something really is wrong with me.
What do you mean?
No, I'm just saying it was just like wow, like that shit is sad.
What, like some stuff that happened?
No, it wasn't about it like an event or like it's just a mindset kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, like that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think you just have to get over that part, and then relationships will start to be successful. But I mean, this whole topic was just about like why is the relationship at risk really only when the woman is unhappy? Because women are quick to run.
Yeah, I think that's really. Yeah, I think women are just quicker to run, and they. And
why are they quicker to run?
Because I think women are more like. I mean, I guess like there has to be some science to it, right? Like we always say, men and women and all this stuff doesn't matter, but I think there is some hormonal and like scientific differences of why men and women are different in some ways, right? And I think with women emotions are a little different, and I think I'm saying they're like I'm not one, but like we are more sensitive.
You're not one. You the homie.
Stop.
That's crazy.
I think we're just more like sensitive about things, and I think men are sensitive too, but just in a different way. But I think women are more sensitive in a way, and we live in a society where people are just so brainwashed. So I think there's like this thing where like men are like the enemy, and men are this and men are that. There's always constant men bashing. That women just have this in their mind what a perfect relationship looks like, instead of just finding somebody who's just like them and just living life like just because that girl loves getting this or that doesn't mean that's what you want. Is that what you want, or that's what you think you want? Like, like I think a lot of women are so comparative with that type of stuff. So I think, and I do admit a lot of, I mean, I could agree that a lot of men out there are probably been bad partners to a lot of these women. I get that. So I'm not, I'm not trying to blame women, but I do feel like a lot of them have like super high, and you should have high expectations for who you date, but they have expectations that are not even theirs. Like they don't even know why they want these things, or who, why they have these desires. And yeah, I just feel like that's why like people always want to rush when you should get married or rush the talking stage. They always put these time limits on things instead of just focusing on actually getting to know who you're with. But it should be the vetting process should be so quick, right? Like if you want a man that pays for dates all the time and this man is not paying for that, then that's it. Leave at that moment. If you want like a man that gives you flowers on the first date, and this man pulled up to the date without flowers, and that was what you expected, if you really care that much about that expectation, then leave after the first date. Like instead of clinging on to something because you're desperate for that male attention or that companionship, and then 10 years from now being upset and wanting to leave, and being unhappy. It's like you saw the red flags from the beginning. You just had to keep pursuing the relationship, like. But I also feel you can't run at everything. People be so quick to run at everything that you're not going to find the perfect person at all. Like, you can't run at everything. Like, don't throw away something that could have been really, really good because of something as simple as not getting flowers on the first date, right? Like, that's stupid to me, too.
What do you think that relationships are transactional?
I feel like a lot of them are. But I think even, that's not necessarily a bad thing, because I feel like every relationship is transactional. Friendships. Like, I think the word transaction is not even a bad thing. I don't either. It could be a bad thing. Like, it could be a bad thing if you're just going into a relationship just simply because you want somebody to pay your bills, But I think it unintentionally becomes transactional because you are getting something out of every interaction that you have with people.
Right.
When you go hang out with your friends, you're getting happiness. You're getting a good time. You're getting companionship. When you're with your partner, you're getting same thing: happiness, companionship, love. Like all those could be considered transactions, and not intentional. It's not like you're going to them just for that. Like, I mean, I guess you are deep down. You are, because what else do we go to people for? But I think it becomes bad when it's transactional, when it's an intent. You're intending to transact. If that makes sense, like you're intending to. Oh, I'm only with this man because I need my bills paid. You know.
No, I asked you that because do you think? I think that there's a lot of. I think I would say like probably, and I know it's a cliche to say 99%, but I think 99.9% of things could be solved or at least be understood between two parties or multiple parties if people just communicated effectively.
No, seriously. Like
So
I even think about some. Oh my god, I even think about some of my friendships that possibly could have been salvaged by somebody just talking. Even though some things I feel like I shouldn't even have to even talk to you about that because you should know. But I think some other things could have easily been fixed by just talking.
now, because of that, I think that we've gotten to a point where communicating is actually viewed as being weird.
Yeah.
Now, do you think that? Because I've seen this about like consenting to sex and stuff like that. Like literally, somebody like should men literally ask like, "Do you consent to whatever?"
Yeah.
Right? Do you think it's weird to come with like a list of criteria of what you want in that person? Like literally, like show up with like a list
Like
of
coming to the date with the list.
yeah, with like a list of criteria.
I think you could. Yeah, that's kind of a crazy. I mean, I don't think that's actually a bad thing. I mean, I haven't been in the dating game literally since I was 17, and I haven't even really dated around if you think about it, because like we met like so quick. That's I never really even got to be out there and like going on dates and going
That'd be
out.
a thought, right?
Not even. I'm talking about going on dates. Stop being like that.
You didn't get to be a thought.
No, I'm just saying
Be out here.
some stuff is kind of like I feel like if I were out there, like and I were dating, no, but not everything has to be sexual. If I were out there dating, I feel like cause this is what I was telling my sister. You're making things sexual. This is what I was trying to tell my sister the other day, because he's talking to two people at once, and I'm like, imagine they watch this pod. Imagine it like watching where she's watching. She's like, why is she doing my business?
Oh shit, that's her name.
Doesn't matter. But like this is what I was telling her too. I'm like, I feel like you have to like kind of be open with them too. You kind of have to be like, hey, just so you know, like I am interested in other people. Like I feel like everything is just to be honest. Like be like, I don't want to lead you on. I don't want I'm still trying to figure out, and not even like who I'm trying to pick, but I'm just going with the flow and like whatever whatever I feel like I'm gonna go with my heart at the end of the day. Like I feel like if you set those expectations, people just don't know how to just communicate. Like just say that, be like, hey, like I'm not exclusive with you right now. Like I am. And maybe that is kind of like the unspoken thing. Like you kind of should maybe expect that when you're dating around, right? Like, or even like I feel like that's why things just have to be said. Like just say it up front. Like you can ask that. Like I think people are scared to say those things. Like, hey, are you talking to anybody else? Like, and that's fine. Like if you are, well, just people just say that. And I think like you said, I think having a list of expectations aren't a bad thing. Like if you came up and was like, and I just don't overwhelm the person and do a lot. But I feel like if you say, hey, like, I do like this, I do expect this, or, this is what the things I want in a relationship. I feel like that's fine. As long as it's not like a crazy long list that you're coming and like lecturing them. I think it could be a fun, casual thing. And you can just see if your things line up. And see, I don't think everything has to match, but some people feel like they do. Some people live life where they feel like they want everything to match. And I'm all for that. But I do feel like people miss out on really good life connections with people by wanting that list to be perfect. Because not everything, like you shouldn't even want your partner to be your everything anyway. Like this is like when me and Tamit were hanging out, I was saying like, you don't really eat seafood. You don't really eat like some of the stuff I eat. And I mean, that's fine for me. That's not like, oh, I'm going to break up with him because we don't eat the same type of foods. No. To me, you're my friend and you eat these things. Like go to your friend for those things. You shouldn't have to, like your partner shouldn't be your everything, right? Like you shouldn't expect them to be everything. Like there's certain things you go with. If you want to eat oysters and your man don't eat seafood, go hang out with your friend that eats oysters. Like you don't have, that shouldn't be a deal breaker for a relationship. But some things I could see, like some people want a partner that travels, and if your partner doesn't travel, that's really important to you to have that experience with the person that you love. Okay, fine, maybe that's just not someone you should date, unless they have plans to do those things in the future. Because we are still young, right? And like some people would leave their partner who they can't afford to go to Bali when they're 18, 19. Like some people will be that extreme, but I think it's just you have to have you could have expectation lists and have things that are like for you that they have to meet, and things that you would like them to meet but not a requirement, and things that will be cool but you don't really care about. I think you could break it up too. But I feel like you should definitely have like a top like list of things that they have to have, and if they don't meet that, and if they don't plan to meet those things, then just move on to the next. People waste time just trying to stay in those relationships, and that's why I do feel like that whole ending up unhappy thing happens.
Thank you guys for listening. This has been the Mal Podcast.
And I'm going back too with the other thing too. Like I do think guys, they'll be unhappy, and I think that's why guys have the stigma of cheating, because I tell you a lot of cheating is rooted in being unhappy.
Yeah, guys cheat emotionally. We got to get that whole like.
No, they cheat both.
They do, but it's definitely
the animalistic thing comes out.
It's mostly emotional.
Yeah.
In relationships, obviously,
something's lacking from your partner.
If they're in a relationship, more likely than not, it's an emotional thing than it is a physical thing. Because if it was because I would agree that men would do that if they were. Ooh, damn.
Sorry.
Men are more animalistic outside of relationships. Yeah, of course. Mm-hmm. They're not going out trying to find a whole bunch of women for emotional reasons.
Yeah, they just want to have a good time.
Right.
Yeah.
But in a relationship, I would put my money on the fact that it's probably mostly an emotional thing.
But not every single situation, right? Like you feel like
sure.
Some girls definitely were probably the perfect partner and still got cheated on.
For sure.
Yeah. But a big portion are not.
That's just a guy clinging on to a girl with a great personality and has every quality that he wants, except for she'll never be able to satisfy his male urges.
Yeah. And that's just like a him problem.
Yeah, you got to deal with that.
But there are a lot of guys who just are unhappy in their relationships, or just they're not getting what they feel like they need, and they should leave too. A lot of men I feel like don't leave. They'll stick around.
But then it's gonna be men ain't shit.
Yeah, I know they do leave. Yeah, but men will never win.
Yeah, that's why men have a way higher suicide rate and are way more depressed.
You can't do anything right.
And our alcoholics and are perceived to smoke weed more. These are all the different reasons. If we want to really get into it, yeah. these are the reasons. This is why men kill each other.
Yep, a lot of anger. Sorry, people, for the coughing.
This is why male boxing is a thing and women boxing isn't really a thing.
Yeah, a lot more anger just to get at.
This is why men's sports tend to be a lot more physical.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of testosterone buildup.
I'm feeling bad for men, honestly. The society is just messed up, man. A lot of issues, a lot of women won't want to admit this, but a lot of issues with, I feel like some men, roots from the home and the way the moms treat them. And the dads. Because sometimes parents put so much expectation on their sons. Like, they're supposed to be strong, they're not supposed to cry. They're supposed to
be strong,
protect their siblings.
Don't cry, protect your woman, be there for your kids, do all the housework, make all the money in the world, be a multi-gazillionaire.
Like, you put all those expectations on them when they're literally like kids. And then you wonder why they're like bad, like they're bad partners and have a lot of have a lot of anger.
Men gotta pay all this money for engagement rings, and you gotta pay for all the bills. You gotta do all this shit.
It's so evil, low key. Like, it's so messed up. And then, and then women will be like, "Well, men created this system." It's like, that was so long ago. Like, it's like they sound like the white people when they talk about slavery. Like, it's just weird. It's like, yeah, okay, men did create patriarchy or whatever a long time ago, but times changed.
Did they?
I would feel like they did.
Because that's the thing. Like, I think people would assume that men created patriarchy because
of power.
Because the man is necessarily like the man is in power in a patriarchal society, but that's not necessarily a guarantee that men created that. Because
what benefit would women get from patriarchy?
Women benefit from patriarchy every day.
Well, yeah, they do, but it's like, but what was the whole point of them fighting for voting rights and?
No, I'm not saying that
jobs.
I'm not saying that women did create patriarchy. I'm just saying that we shouldn't jump to say that women created patriarchy, because that might not necessarily be true. But sorry. No, I think I said it right. Like, I'm not saying that women created it.
Oh yeah.
But I'm just saying we shouldn't be quick to jump and say that men created it.
Yeah, men created it. Yeah.
Because it could be true, because women want to be the catch, and women want the man to be
and do the least,
leading and do everything for them. So that creates the patriarchal society. Yeah. I don't know if it's true.
Because women, we're the ones that had to bear kids and give birth. So who's to say that they weren't the one pushing for it? Like, oh, we had to bear the children. Like, the men should go out to work while we bear the children. Yeah. I wonder how it is in the animal kingdom. Do the male animals go out to hunt usually? Yeah. So maybe that's just, we follow, the animal kingdom. Like I said, like, I do believe in science too, like the science aspects of things. And men are stronger, and they, you guys don't bear kids. But to a certain extent, I think it's just the emotional stuff that gets straight away. It's like people forget that men have emotions and are humans, and that's what I don't like.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of literature.
On the origins of sexism,
Yeah,
creation of patriarchy, how did it happen?
here, let's see. The origins of sex. It's called newscientist.com, which I feel like
It was a little suspicious.
we probably shouldn't trust this website.
Remember all those websites we used to have to use in school
Oh my
for like
god,
all the publications?
just the most random things.
Yeah, I forgot what they were called. Do you remember any of them?
No.
It was like all these sites. It was like .orgs, I think, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of work on it. I'm not gonna sit here because I don't like speaking on things without having proper information. But
Yeah.
I'll try to read through some of this at some point, and maybe we'll come back to this conversation. But I think it's just
The history of patriarchy is not about men. That's probably basically saying like how women benefit from it.
yeah, because there's a clinical psychologist by the name of Jordan Peterson that gets killed on the internet all day long by women and scholarly women as well because of his views about men versus women and like the balance of things and how women want equality but not but equality in the things that they want equality in and not equality overall. Like women don't prefer to have equality in everything. They want equality for specific things.
Yeah.
Mostly in positions of power. They want to be in positions of political office. They want to be the president, but they don't want to be
The leader of the household.
they don't want to be on the oil rig
Yeah.
kind of thing, or like they don't want to necessarily
Like
they
build
don't
a
tend
house.
tend to pursue financial like they don't tend to be stock traders. That's like usually a male dominated thing, not necessarily because men don't allow women to be in those positions. It's just
They
that
don't- they
women
don't
don't.
pursue
Because
that.
how many women do you hear that say they want to be stock traders?
Nobody.
I've never actually heard
They
that.
want to be a teacher, a nurse.
Not that they don't exist, because I talk to them every day with my job. But,
Yeah.
you know,
But we
it's-
saw that one girl that was on the floor. She was like, they literally was like the whole report because she was like a rare case. Because she was a woman and she was black. So
But yeah, he talks about a lot of these sorts of things and that, you know, patriarchal society. They called it like tyrannical patriarchy or something like that, and that's how the society is ran by men. And it's like, it was a feminist that he was going at, and he's like, yeah, man, you know, there's so many different things that I'm appreciative of, and it's like, well, how can you be appreciative of, you know, this sort of oppressive thing that you're trying to say that men have put in place?
yeah.
And it's like, but you get the benefit of it. So it's just,
Yeah.
it's just an
But then they
interesting
still
debate.
want it to happen. They still want the bills paid.
Yeah,
But
one
then
of
they're crying about inflation.
one of the things that I appreciate, one of his points that I appreciate the most is just the idea of the equal opportunity versus equal result. And I talked about this before on a pod, but like, women want equal results versus equal opportunity, because there's equal opportunity for everybody. It's not
Yeah.
like there's equal opportunity employers. Like that's like a thing. Everybody is allowed to apply for any job regardless of your race,
You're allowed to apply to any major.
religion.
You're allowed to get to any certification. There's no limits.
Right. So if that's the case, yet there's still men that are dominating these certain industries or in these positions of power. Why is that?
Yeah.
And that's because
They're not going for those jobs. They like women want to stay in this patriarchy society that they complain about. Like why do you want to be these traditional womanly jobs like nurse and teacher and what else? I don't know, therapist. Like staying in those like traditional woman jobs, but then complaining about the system. The
right.
system's broke. Like what?
But they want the equal result. They want, you know,
Make the same money.
make the same money doing, you know, whatever the job is. They want the same money. They want the same position of power. They want the same whatever, but don't like this, which is the idea of the equal result, but not the, you know, the opportunity is always there to do anything. Like you can
Because the
work-
women that do pursue those things succeed.
you could work at the gas station in New Jersey. They tend to not do that. They tend to not do that. I've seen.
I never seen one woman
For real?
attendant. No.
I've seen women attendants, but they tend to not be women attendants. They tend to not be women in a lot of different places where they could get those sort of opportunities.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen one. I mean, I'm sure I've had.
He always uses the example of the bricklayers that 99.9999999% of bricklayers in the entire world are men.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, I don't know what that has to do with anything. But I just enjoy his points in his work because he's very like, precise with the things that he says.
Yeah.
And, you know, yeah, he gets a lot of flack for the things and hot takes that he has, but
I think we watched some of the stuff before.
yeah, we watched some of the stuff. But yeah, so I don't know. That conversation went all over the place as usual. But yeah, I think men probably stay longer than they should. But if they don't stay,
I think they both do. Honestly, both do. But I think women definitely.
Women
definitely initiate divorces.
Women flee way more. And I think the other thing too is that women have the safety of falling into other men.
Yeah, because it's easy to go get another man.
Yeah.
Like, no matter even your age.
For a man to get another woman, it's still possible, and it's not like
it's still possible, but it's more it's more expectation, and I feel like it's harder too. Because you still gotta go out there and go pursue, and as a woman, you could just go to a bar and you have people approaching you. Yeah. So but dating apps exist, so it makes it easy for everybody.
Yeah.
Old and young, divorced and not divorced.
But even in that, women are still more likely
to move on quickly,
to get what they want.
Yeah, but it's kind of.
So that's probably why they flee. Because that's the thing. Like, you could literally, as a woman, you can jump from man A to man B to man C to man D and have your life drastically change between any of those jumps. Yeah. But if a man was to jump from anyone, the odds of the man benefiting financially or even, personality wise, probably isn't as high. So there's a lot less of a benefit.
Yeah.
And I'm just pointing these things out, not necessarily complaining because it doesn't concern me. So I don't actually particularly care, but it is something that other people should know that is, how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you could leave me right now and probably because of where we live, you could probably find a Giants player.
I would never.
Like, probably 20 minutes from here, and your life could drastically change. I could not find.
I'm not getting somebody with CTE that's gonna beat me and cheat.
I wouldn't be able to have my life change in the same way.
It would be. I think you could, but it probably would just take longer. It would be harder. Well, yeah.
What sugar mama am I gonna find?
No, but the only thing that sucks, from a guy's perspective, is that like a lot of women who are like
rich,
successful,
they want another rich man.
No, but not that. But like, even if they were like let's say the same exact level financially as you, like just the same thing. You just lost those women have this hyper independence mindset, but they don't want a man, whatever.
Maybe.
But I think lots of times that's a ruse. They be saying that, but we really be miserable. They be crying themselves to sleep every night.
Yeah, I think
like those degrees aren't keeping you on, aren't they?
I think it's because a man with money will still pursue a woman with no money, but a woman with money won't pursue a man with no money.
Yeah, and they be like focused, like I'm focused on my career, but then they be 40 and upset why all their friends are married and have kids and they don't.
And all these things again are okay.
You can do both. Like it's okay, but then they won't complain 20 years from now. Cause like this is what Kevin Samuels was trying to tell people. You could do both. It's very possible. Like we graduated, got my master's at 22, and did all that while I'm in a relationship. Like you guys don't like. There's girls don't even got their masters and making that same excuse that a man is a distraction. But I got my master's in 5 years while in a relationship that whole time.
They think men are distractions.
Yeah, they be making that excuse. Oh, men are a distraction. Focus on your career, sis. Focus on your job and those degrees. But be bums. Like you have preaching on that. But why am I more successful than you? And I've been in a relationship the whole time. Do all my successes. Got a freaking promotion in a year at Prudential while in a relationship. Like girls just make excuses for why they're bums, and
I think maybe not necessarily relationships, but definitely involvement with the opposite sex or same sex, whatever. Makes you. Huh?
It can be a distraction.
Oh no, I was gonna argue that it'll make you more successful than anything. I think that
unless you're lazy. That's the only time opposite like dating can be a distraction if you're just lazy.
I would be hard pressed to find somebody that, as a man, that is successful that does not involve himself with women, either married or just
exactly. Some of the richest people in the world that are super hustlers still have time to cater to women and take them out and do a whole bunch of stuff. People just like to make excuses. Like, they really do.
I think it makes you work harder. I think
It depends, though, because some people, I guess, they get in relationships, all they do is sleep all day, and, like, you have to have somebody who's going to motivate you, and you got to motivate them, and you got to motivate yourself. That's, like...
I made this argument to you, like, for real, if I was by myself, I would probably work less hard.
Yeah.
Because the reason why I do, because obviously I want things for myself, but what's okay for me is not an abundance of things, right? Like, what's okay to me, even if I had $1 billion, is not necessarily to buy $100,000 cars. I mean, not 100,000 cars, it's 5,000 cars, and I gotta have this house and this property, blah blah blah. That's not like my personality. So for me, I'm okay with small. Like, that's okay. That's okay to me. Like, not an abundance is okay to me. So if I'm not with somebody, that eliminates the idea of having kids, which is the main reason why I would want to accumulate wealth.
Because you work hard for your future family.
Like, I'll have my MBA in the next 3 weeks. That wasn't for me. I didn't care about that for me. I cared about that for my parents and my kids, because I know it'll make me more money that I'll be able to afford things for them to do. Not necessarily... I'll get a benefit from it, of course, because I'll be getting paid more.
And you'll be there, too, enjoying those trips and stuff.
If I knew I wasn't having kids, I probably wouldn't even necessarily care to have a house either.
That's true, because then you would have less desire for things like that. Like, obviously, I think, still as a personal level, you still want a house, but you might feel like, do I need a backyard and all that space if I don't have kids? Like,
right, because I mostly want a house because I want my kids to have the experience that I had, where they could go in the backyard and have a fenced in playground,
because we gotta get a pool,
and all that kind of stuff. But if I wasn't having kids, what do I need a pool for? I don't want to go.
I mean, you go for yourself.
I could, but like.
But yeah, you feel like you wouldn't probably use it as much.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't use it as much, or I wouldn't probably.
Even Kim Kardashian said she didn't use her pool. She's rich.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't go travel to a place like Orlando and go to Universal Studios if I didn't have kids. Like, there's certain.
Or go on like a Disney cruise.
My life would be a lot different. Yeah. So, what did that have to do with anything?
Because we were just saying how, like, people don't hustle, like, in the relationship.
Oh yeah. But when you're
some people don't.
Because I'm in a relationship, I definitely work harder because there's more to
pay for.
Because it's more than just me. That's really what it is. Like, there's more to life than just yourself.
Yeah.
So I personally feel, not even that you necessarily are, all right, let's go get up. We're gonna go get it today. Like, you don't necessarily do that, but you don't have to.
Yeah.
You just being there does that.
Yep. And I just feel like people just like to find excuses for stuff. Like, but go ahead with that mindset. And then they be wondering, like, this is literally what Kevin Samuels was saying. They be wondering why, when they're like in their late 30s and like now they're ready to settle down, why they can't find somebody. Yeah. You washed, sorry, and like, you're not as fertile. Humans work on science. We work on hormones. Like, how you gonna have a baby at 40?
Yeah.
I think you could do both, and people be missing out on the good in life, because love is enjoyable thing. So go ahead and keep being miserable while I got my degrees and my man and my career and my car and my apartment. And I could have did it on my own if I wanted to. So I could have lived here on my own. I could afford to live here. But you look at me like I could afford to live here on my own.
I just smiled.
Only $2,000. Like, I mean, not only, but did they say anything about our lease too? Because I haven't been checking our emails.
No.
Are they playing? Okay, let them play. We could move to Jersey City.
All right, you got anything else?
You had other topics.
No, we're not doing the rest of those topics.
Yeah, go swipe through. I can't talk. I have a cough.
No, seriously, I don't care about Kid Cudi getting hit with water bottles.
I mean.
No, I don't care.
I think it was stupid, but
I think people are soft for doing it.
People are weird because they wouldn't do that if they were up in his face.
Yeah.
But I do think that Kid Cudi shouldn't have taken that, knowing that Kanye was supposed to perform. Like, he kind of set himself up for that. I would have been like, sorry, I respectfully decline. Like, they was there to see Kanye. Like, that crowd was there to see Kanye. And that since you guys are beefing, that it wouldn't have been received well. Even if they weren't beefing, I think people still would have been mad.
Yeah. I just think it's soft. Like, that's really it. I'm not going to do a whole breakdown about people's emotions and feelings and all that kind of stuff.
It's really simple.
But yeah, just don't be soft. Like, at least do it to somebody's face. Like, not that I would respect it necessarily, but I don't respect.
I don't respect people who do that in high. Like, I know the person probably threw it and they felt all hyped and it was hiding out in the crowd, but like
Yeah, you're
knowing you would not do that to his face.
yeah, you wouldn't. Not even that Kid Cudi is necessarily tough or anything like that, but everybody is just soft. And,
Yeah,
you know,
and yep, and there's no consequences.
yeah, because there's no consequence. They don't
Yeah.
actually.
Does the person get
No. I think I saw 3 mugshots of people that
they
got caught.
them? Oh wow, okay,
I think
good.
I'm pretty sure. I think one of them was a kid,
Wow,
if I'm not mistaken.
well, good. Get the
You ca-
consequences.
You can't take it. You gotta take everything with a grain of salt because that's just something I saw. I don't know the validity.
Yeah,
of
I
it.
think I feel like I see that too. But
I ain't checked the
didn't
court
look into
records.
it.
I
Yeah.
don't know, but yeah, it's just soft. That's
Yeah, I mean, I think good for him for ending the set because I would have did the same. Let them stand there and look stupid now.
yeah for X amount of time and
Yeah.
they wasted their money.
Yeah,
But
I feel bad for the people who actually probably wanted to. Who were like, okay, fine, I'm fine with seeing him. The people who actually want to listen.
yeah.
What's next? We could do like rapid
Rapid topics?
Yeah.
Kevin Samuel's cause of death was revealed as being hypertension.
Not shocked. What is hypertension anyway? Is that like, what's the actual definition? Is
Let's
that
go
like,
get the definition.
I know it has to do with like your heart and blood pressure, right? Like it's usually kind of associated with diabetes, I thought.
So,
high
according
blood
from
pressure.
Oxford, abnormally high blood pressure.
Okay. High blood pressure runs in my family, which is kind of scary. But
Hypertension can be caused by a bunch of different factors, such as diet and stress levels, which is usually the more common one,
and black people usually have a lot of hypertension like
Yeah.
genetically.
which is
Probably
usually
because of
because of
stress.
financial reasons.
Financial stress, yeah. I think for him, he might have just been. I don't know if he would have been necessarily stressed with work, but it could be linked to like his diet and those energy drinks. Because every single podcast, he was drinking a Red Bull. Every single one. I don't think I watched one episode where he wasn't drinking it. People, and we talked about this. People be addicted to those energy drinks, and that stuff is not good. It makes your heart pump faster, which makes your blood pressure go up. Right? Crazy. And I'm sure there's such a direct link to him drinking that stuff excessively, with underlying issues. You know, like he might have had predisposition to high blood pressure, and then drinking that only aggravated it worse. Because that stuff runs in the family and it's genetic too. High
Yeah.
blood pressure.
Yeah, I don't know why.
So I'm not shocked by the cause of death. It's just annoying because people still are bashing him, and they're like, you know, he was coming at people's diets and stuff. And it's like,
Oh,
and remember
Well-
we talked about this on before. You could still be an expert in something and not follow your expertise. Like he was just doing his job. We talked about this. He was an image consultant and he was doing his job. I
Well,
know
his-
doctors that aren't unhealthy. Like
was his diet bad or was it just the Red
I
Bulls?
think it was just the Red Bull. I don't think he didn't eat bad because he was like looked like he was in shape. But you can still look like you're in shape and be unhealthy.
You know, people are
and
just
still eat
mad
bad.
because.
People were just mad because he was right and he heard their feelings.
Well, what I really feel like most of the time, I think people are. We gotta delete social media, yo. Every time I talk about these things, I'm like, oh god.
Yeah.
But it's the way in which people the headlines, like people want quick content, like we want microwave content, right? So we don't want to sit and watch a whole like 10-minute explanation about what, like they're not gonna go sit on their YouTube. Like people don't do that. I feel like people don't watch YouTube a lot.
Me neither. I feel like YouTube definitely had a drop since TikTok came out.
Yeah, I think people want quick content. So if they see a Kevin Samuels clip, what's going to be posted is like a 45-second
The crazy thing that he
crazy
said.
thing that he said, but not the full 2.5 hours that
No
he probably
context
did of
before.
the podcast.
No after, yeah.
So the thing is, when people are upset, people don't do their due diligence and try to understand, well, who is this person? They just see the Shade Room or some hip hop thing or just whatever page post a headline that all looks the same. Everybody's stuff always the font, everything, the setup of the screenshot, everything looks exactly the same all the time. With this is what happened, right? So they said this is what happened, so I'm gonna take it for face value and then immediately go into the comments without any context, without actually probably even watching the video or listening to it, and respond and type out a whole response. Like you said earlier, with you thought people were coming at people with MBA or with master's degrees,
And I read,
and then you're like, oh,
and
but
I deleted it. I immediately deleted it too. I was like, ooh, I'm like, that's a lesson I should have read before I wrote it. I reacted off emotion, but at least I can admit that.
So all they heard was Kevin Samuels said something to a black woman, and then now for all of eternity, it's
He hated
he
black
hated black women and
women.
disparaging black women and tears them down, and it's like
But then they don't go to the conversation. The black women were the only people that were coming to his platform
to call in.
to call in. If white women were calling, he would have did the same thing to them. If Asian women were calling, he would do the same thing to them. But black women were consumers of his content. They were going to him as a
For
black
that.
man. Like not everything is a black on black. Like people always like like the whole black on black crime. Like no, it's just crime. Like it's not like he was coming for them because they were black. It's just because black people usually gravitate towards each other and they were calling in.
And white people usually gravitate towards each
Yeah,
other.
like they were calling in. Like, are you guys stupid?
Yeah. So that's why I think the hate is, because I can't imagine. Because usually what happens is that
I used to actually watch this stuff like in full. Like when I was bored, remember I used to just have it playing. So that's why I had more like understanding of who he was. I'm like, okay, he's telling the truth. He's really saying he's saying what men think. Like women want to know what men think, and then when men say what they think, they get mad. He's saying how men think. He's giving the hard truth. Women sit on the internet all day and say they need a man that's 6 foot this, and works out and fit and this, and that's that. But then when a man says, yeah, I don't want no fat girl who looks this and who's 40 years old, it's, he's coming for black women. Like, no, he's just saying the same thing that we're saying. Lots of women say, So it's so hypocritical.
yeah, but the internet's not real. I think people's takes
And
are.
they know that's the thing. They knew he was telling the truth. That's what they heard. Like you
That's
wouldn't
the
be
thing.
offended by something if you didn't feel like he was talking to you. 'Cause I wasn't offended by nothing because I literally wasn't anything that he was talking about at all. Like,
Yeah, what's the saying? Hurt
Hurt-
dogs yelp or
yeah.
something.
Like
Yeah,
he was
people.
real mad. You must be 80 pounds and 40 and single. 180 pounds, 40 and single. As a woman, 5'2", 5'2", 180 pounds,
Yeah,
and 80. 40.
and that wasn't all of his critiques either. Wasn't about weight.
There wasn't. Most times it was just like I said, he had a lot of critique for the girls that were like, I'll focus on my school and I got my PhD. That was like he had like a sound thing on his board, like I got my PhD. Like he used to click it like, cause it was like a joke. Like it's like okay, but where's your man at? Like and you want one. Like don't act like you don't. So that's the thing. Like last time it wasn't just the weight stuff. Like that's the stuff that got clipped. But he used to literally talk about everything. Talk about personality. Talk about the fighting and like the toxic stuff that people gravitate towards. Like girls that will admit that they left a good man, and him just giving them the hard truth. Like him asking why are you single. Like that's not a bad question. Like it's just he just gave people the hard truth, and he literally was saying what a lot of other people think, like what a lot of other men do think and they don't vocalize. A lot of men do agree with him, and girls are mad. How are you mad because the men have their standards and opinions, but you do the same thing?
One thing that I've tried to do over the years is become less sensitive to criticism.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I was sensitive to
Yeah.
criticism anyway is not because it necessarily hurt my feelings, but it's because my sensitivity is my measurement for how much I care about something.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody tells me something negative about myself or tells me something positive about myself, like I'm very sensitive to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like either on a good level or a bad level. And I feel like part of that's been helpful. And obviously I'm still not all the way there because, I feel like you can't I don't think that you can be all the way there because I think like the second I don't care about that kind of stuff, then that means I don't care about anything. So I think I'll always be sensitive, basically, is what I'm trying to say. But one of the benefits of that is that I feel like over time I've been better at critiquing and criticizing myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I've gone through that transition of like, and you could even see it with the way I post on social media about like, I went from saying crazy shit on Twitter all the time to having deleted the platform completely. And you could just see it transition over time. And it's just like, the more self-critical I became and okay with being wrong and okay with somebody saying something negative about me that it's actually like true, I've embraced it and I enjoy it.
Yeah, I feel like people should embrace it. Like if anything, like why would you not want somebody that's trying to help you? And like some people have different ways of trying to help you. Tough love is a real thing. Sometimes you need to hear it in a stern way, in a mean way, for it to really hit. And that's the thing too. Like these women were calling him. Like, it's not like he was unprovokingly coming for them. They were calling him, you know?
Yeah.
So people just need to take. People egos are too big. People swear that they're like this poppin' person, and a lot of people have a self-inflated view of themselves, and really are like bum individuals that don't really got nothing going on for themselves, not doing anything extravagant in life, don't look that great, but have this inflated self-value. And he was just telling them how it is. Like, this is how the world really sees you. Like, this is how you see yourself, but I'm letting you know this is how the world sees you. And if you could fix that. Cause there were girls that were calling in that were like, yeah, like, I took your advice. I tried to be more like this, and I got my diet together. I lost weight. Like, you know, they would call back in like a year or 2 years later with an update, a life update, and talk about how like they found, you know, they're in a relationship and now they're happy. You know, people took their advice and they called back and they appreciated him for it. So
yeah, it helps.
some people just don't want to hear the advice. They don't want to hear the tough love, and like you should be happy that at least somebody's telling you what a lot of other men probably already feel about you too. Just are scared to tell you, or just won't tell you. You know.
Yeah, I appreciate the criticism because it does help you.
Yeah.
And it's okay to be wrong. And it's
Yeah,
okay
it
for
is.
improvement.
Yeah.
It's like that thing I told you the other day where the guy asked the women what would they rank themselves. Then they all said 10 out of 10. And he said, who do you think is do you think men or women are better at self-improvement? They said women. But
A lie.
but you can't be better at self-improvement if you're already 10 out of 10.
Yeah. Because nobody should, honestly, I don't think anybody should think they're a 10 out of 10.
I would say I'm like a 7.8 overall.
Overall, I would say I'm like, maybe like, maybe close to 8. Maybe 8. I think the main thing I need to improve on, obviously, like as far as like financially, I told you earlier, like I need to do better with just paying down my like debt, especially student loan. I mean, I'm good at paying down my debt, but student loan debt, financially, that's like an improvement. Financially, I want to make more money. Obviously, I need to get my CPA. Like, so, professionally, I need my CPA. Personality wise, I think I need to work on better. Like, I don't know, I feel like I'm like kind of mean.
I actually dropped myself to a 7.2.
Yeah, I think I'm in the 7 range. I think 8 might be too high because I'm only 25. I still have so much to improve on. Personality wise, I have a lot to improve on. Personal, like relationship wise, the way I feel like I'm not really the best person. Not our relationship. I feel like when it comes to like my relationship, maintaining relationships with other people, I kind of falter a little bit with that. Like, so yeah, I got some improvement to do. Like people just have this self-inflated worth, and they can't sit and talk to themselves and be like, yeah, that's what I need to work on. They think they're such a high and mighty person, and then the world humbles them. And people like Kevin Samuels were some of those people that will humble people, and they get upset. Like, you rather him tell you than someone else that you really care about and like tell you. And then you're going to hate men forever like a lot of these women do. Because your crush told you that you're overweight and lazy. And see, I take criticism well, too. Like, when you criticize me, like, I'm like, I take it well.
I was just about to give you some criticism right
You know
now
what I mean
about your laugh.
Screen time. My life is, I'm never going to change, though.
No, I mean, like, your condescending laugh that you just did.
Yeah,
I don't like that shit.
But I just said, I am
I don't like
mean.
to be condescending.
But I said I'm mean. I just said I was mean.
Yeah, I don't like that shit.
I'm working on it.
No, you're not. You're definitely not. You lean into it.
You know why I'm mean.
Oh, gee.
Childhood trauma.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. This has been the A Couple of Things podcast where we talked about a couple of things.
People were mean to me, so now I'm the bully.
And we are out of here.
But it's not an excuse.
Goodbye.
It's not an excuse.
We're not doing
No, listen, it's not an excuse. I do need to work on it. No, I'm just saying, like, that's what happens. That's what happened.
We haven't said goodbye to everybody.
No, I'm just saying.
That's fine.
But that's an excuse, cause I was just telling my mom the other day, like,
we're ending the pod.
No, but I was just telling my mom the other day, I'm a product of my environment. I'm a product of my childhood. After a certain age, it's an excuse. You have to work on it. So that's why I'm working on it. I can't be let that hurt go. That's like the saying. I can't be projecting my.
It's like what Jay-Z said.
Hurt.
So I could say I'm a product of my environment, but that ain't the reason why I be buying expensive chains. Can't be blaming
you can't blame your. You can't blame
your environment for why you're doing something, because
people will say that, like, oh, I'm this way because of this person, or I'm this way because my parents. It's like, no, grow up. and change. Like, that's such a whack excuse to try to use other people as an excuse of why you are the way you are. Like, after a certain age. And there is a valid reason why a lot of people are the way they are. But it's when you know, is when it's a bad excuse. When you know that's the way you are and you recognize your faults, that's when it's bad. Some people walk around don't even realize they're bad people because of who they're raised by. But once you know and you continue to be that way, that's just a personal choice. And it's whack.
All right, you good?
Yeah.
Okay.
But didn't we have another relationship topic? I feel like I released the other one. I don't think so.
No, we're done.
Oh, yeah, we are done. We went through all the fast, rapid topics. The
Yeah.
Will Smith thing.
I don't care about Will Smith. I didn't watch the video.
I didn't watch it either, but my only thing on that is I just think it's stupid that he's still going. Like, let it go. It's okay. It's like, we get it. It wasn't that big of a deal. I mean, I guess.
Probably because the Chris Rock and them keep joking about it.
Oh, yeah, right. He's on tour, right?
With Dave Chappelle and Kevin Hart.
Can we go see them?
They left already. They were just here on Friday or something.
Dang, I really want. That's a good show. We gotta go to a comedy show in person. We tried Eddie Griffin. He canceled. Fake. That was like 3 years ago.
But yeah, they keep talking about it, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was funny though. That's what comedians do. That's their art. They should be able to. But Will Smith to make a whole 5-minute video about it is kind of extra. But I'm not watching it. I don't care about it. Like, Will Smith's kind of whack to me and annoying. Jada is whack to me and annoying. They're just very, like, for me, they're very performative, and that's what I don't like. They're so performative. Like, the whole Red Table Talk, how everybody, like, mimics her. Like, yeah. It's just, like, it's so fake.
All right, yo.
I just don't like people, as you guys can tell.
Like, we getting out of here. Thank you guys for watching. I'm going to get a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
From where?
From the store. I'm going to go get an Uncrustables.
Oh, it's not that late. I thought it was like already 11 something.
Nah, we got to wrap this up.
Yeah, can you give me some?
We are out of here. Thank you guys for watching. Catch us next week. This podcast will probably be uploaded late as usual. You know the vibes. Thank you for rocking with us.
I'm going to do it on time. I'm going to do it on time.
No, you're not.
August 1st is tomorrow. It's a new month. I'm going to study.
All right, now this is definitely time.
I am going to study.